Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of NYCFC at Home with the Cooligans, presented by El Jimador.
All right. And that's the end of the show. No, this is...
We're out of time.
We got no more, folks. We'll see you next time. On what? On what? And then they cut. No, this is a blast. I can't believe where it's episode 10, buddy.
Episode 10, and this is a hot one, okay?
Oh, yeah.
We got a hot show today because we are going to be joined by James Sands of NYCFC. You heard of him?
Yeah, I have. And you know what? I think we should give him a bunch of nicknames because I haven't heard him have a nickname yet. So I think we should just do that. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah, we'll get there. No, we're excited to talk to James. We're excited to look back and celebrate that 4-0 victory against Cincinnati. And
what
look
a
forward.
wonderful time, huh?
And look forward to, the 8-0 victory we'll have against Miami coming up, right?
Predictions already in, folks.
This show doesn't make sense anymore. Let's just get crazy. Let's take an inside look.
Which, by the way, presented by Adidas. All right? Shouts to Adidas, yo. We just beat FC Cincinnati 4-0. I mean, whew.
I think I don't remember the exact prediction I gave last week. I think I said 3-0, maybe. I think
you might have. I think I said 2-1.
Yeah. So we were both wrong, but you were more wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're both right. Neither one of us got points, right? It wasn't a draw or a win. We both walk away with no points. But this is the type of game where, and maybe this is just, unfortunately, FC Cincinnati this year, they're the rebound chick. You know what I mean? They're like,
they're the rebound team. That happens.
It ain't going well. Let's go see FC Cincinnati.
Sometimes you need teams to build your own confidence. Okay?
Just get back on the horse, Like, in fact, I don't know if you know this, when NYCFC landed, the way they made sure that they had the game is they text FC Cincinnati, you up?
Make sure you're there.
Yeah, we need you there.
Yes.
But we did say this. We said it might be tough to break them down defensively, and we were wrong.
You know what? If by tough you mean it's going to take 30 seconds, then yeah, it was pretty brutal. Yeah.
It takes an amazing touch by Mitrita to just completely break them down defensively. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool, right? Obviously, Alexander Mitrita gets the fastest goal in NYCFC history.
Yeah.
30 seconds in, incredibly impressive, right? Obviously, with the loss of Maxi Morales and Mitrita playing that position. And then
give me some credit. I've been saying this since like episode 3. Are you kidding me?
It raised a lot of questions about like how he would do in that role. And questions answered. All right?
Yeah. What? How many questions do y'all have? Because I think we have a couple more answers. To be completely honest with you, it was fun to watch. And one of my favorite things about watching Mitrita in that role is he's not naturally a person who sets up goals. He wants to score them. So he's almost like playing like a false 9, if you will. Like he's getting the ball in that 10 position. He's looking up. He's making incredible passes, but then he's making and he's bolting and he's getting in between defenders and he's creating space. So it's almost like this hybrid of a central attacking mid, but also like a false 9 where he wants to find those spaces and he wants to make those late runs. And it's if you're a defender, how do you defend against that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just really difficult to be like, well, he's not near me. All of a sudden, he's off my shoulder. What's happening?
It definitely look as NYCFC fans can attest. It does feel good to have that early lead, to just be like, the concerns were always like, where are the goals going to be coming from, and just to. We played Cincinnati before. They were a bit more challenging when it came to, we know how they're going to defend, but just to get it right, just right out the gate, boom. Yes, it felt good. And speaking of booms, let's also talk about Anton Tinnerholm and how incredible he's been this season.
The passing. I mean, you sure this guy's a defender? Yeah, the goal.
He is right now looking like one of the obviously one of the better defenders in the league this season, but also one of the defenders that is really taking the role of like, I'm gonna catch me up front too, because I'm going to be up there as well, really putting pressure on the defense, whether it's creating some 2v1s, just making it challenging on those defenders. And it was so impressive.
If you're a midfielder on another team, what do you do? Because you have really wide depth from your wingers, and as they're moving forward, you're trying to track them, and then all of a sudden, here comes one of the defenders in that same wing, finding the open spaces. I mean, when it looks good, when all things are clicking with this team attack-wise, it looks almost impossible to defend because there's just people everywhere that could score and make a great pass. And with the amount of injuries we've had, it's almost amazing to see other people jump into those positions, other players, I should say, and take over those roles and do it incredibly. And it just seems like everything was clicking. Now, look, it could be because it was against FC Cincinnati. No offense, FC Cincinnati, but you know who you are, you know? You've seen the scores, right? Maybe it was just that, but it does seem like this could be one of those games that puts a certain amount of confidence. I mean, I can't think of a right back having a better year than Anton Tinnerholm. And when one of your defenders is one of your best attackers or is putting your attackers in the best position, it's like, what do? You know?
I mean, he is, I believe, currently tied Anton Tinnerholm with the most goals, right, this season. I think he has 3. So it's quite. You're not used to sort of seeing it, and Tinnerholm has been. There was just a poll in MLS, MLS on Twitter, asking who is the best right back at the moment between Tinnerholm, Richie Laryea, and Leerdam from the Seattle Sounders, and obviously Laryea from Toronto FC. And these guys are having great seasons. It's
Larea's had like 2 good games. I mean, he's a great defender, but he's had 2 high-level games where you're like, wow, this guy might be one of the best. Anton Tinnerholm, from the beginning of this year, has looked incredible in his position.
Tinnerholm starts the run, and there's the pass. Tinnerholm, top of the 6, takes the shot. Anton Tinnerholm does it again on the feed by Tajuri Shradi. It is 2-0.
These are the types of goals we're getting spoiled by, right?
Yeah, because now we're going to expect it every week. You know what I mean? It's like you clean the house without anyone asking, and you're like, oh, cool, that's your job now. And you're like,
okay,
no, I did it that one time. You know?
No, but I mean, we saw it was the one against San Jose, which I think was the first volley, like off the set piece, off the corner. And he's just the ball, just getting it on the volley. So this is a little bit of insider news. I had heard from one of my NYCFC sources.
Oh my God! Beep, 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 right, that's a Morse code.
we know the nickname for Anton Tinnerholm is Tinnerboom, right?
Yeah,
because of some of these goals. But apparently, when he scored that goal, when the ball went in and he was celebrating, he also yelled "boom."
Okay.
When it happened. So we call this man self-aware.
Yes,
okay?
yes. It's like I don't have a nickname, but if I did, imagine I yelled it when like a joke landed. How dope would that be? That's like remember the comic Hamburger? Hamburger or Shucky Ducky Quack Quack? That's Anton Tinnerholm. Yeah, boom, baby.
It is he's Guile from Street Fighter. Sonic Boom, okay? This is his super move, all right?
Absolutely. And don't forget, by the way, put some respect on James Sand's assist.
Oh, that's right.
That's a center back / defensive midfielder who's looking over and he's like, I think I could get it right over there on a dime and let that guy score a goal. I'll do that for you. You know? And why don't we talk to him right now and let's talk to James Sands. Listen, we've talked about this before. We'll say it again, okay? Christian and I, we were inside the bubble. Now we're inside the locker rooms. We're hiding in the lockers. We got a little microphone. We're inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, I'm not exactly sure if it's legal or we're breaking so many rules and protocols.
Shush, Christian. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to rat myself out.
I'm wearing 3 masks. All right? No, and the locker I'm hiding in is 6 feet away from all the other lockers. I think they can tell because it's a little wider than the other lockers. But the reason I'm doing that is because we want to get some of the best interviews. And then I realized we could just have them on the show virtually. And that's what's about to happen right now. I don't need to be breaking all these rules.
Yeah, it's much more reasonable. I'm excited about today's guest. This is going to be a very fun and exciting NYCFC at home.
That's right. Look, NYCFC at home, okay? And this player is at his house, but he's on with us right now. One of the most incredible homegrown players in all of MLS. This kid, you put him in at center back, he's amazing. You put him in at defensive midfielder, he's amazing. I bet you he's the best striker on the team. Who knows?
Right? They just haven't given him a chance. That's all.
He's a Swiss Army knife. Try him, coach. He can do it all. You know,
no, man, I'm excited.
Set it and forget it over here.
Well, yes, let's compliment him on screen.
Yes.
Please welcome to today's show, James Sands. What's up, James?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Dude, not bad.
I'll just say quickly that I am not the best striker on the team.
Okay, humble too. All right, what did I tell you about this guy?
The modesty on this young man. Wow. It's so crazy that we have such an incredible striker who's also so kind. Anyway.
We're just a lucky squad, you know? James, go ahead. You have a question?
I was just going to say, look, we were talking a little bit before off air, but we call you James Sands, right? You are have been such a presence in the NYCFC defense, in the midfield. You become a player who people need to start knowing your name, right? Like that is the respect that James Sands deserves is long overdue at this point. But we were talking before that people call you different things. I know like some nicknames are like Sandman and stuff like that. I know you're a young guy, but how many do you go by anything else besides James Sands? Is it like Jimbo? Is anything? Have you heard anything else?
Jay Sando.
Well, up until the point that I, signed for the first team, I'd only been called James or Sands. It was just one or the other. And then when I got to the first team, it was like 6 different things. So I had James, Jim, Jimmy, Jimbo. Yeah, those are the ones I can think of. But
any of the Latino players throw out James?
Yeah, there you go.
Do you get a James?
Yeah,
James Sands.
I don't think I play like a James, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, man, it's been incredible just seeing you not only just like grow up with the club, just become this. I mean, honestly, one of the better defenders in Major League Soccer. How has this
in the American system? Put some respect on that. You know?
How it's like maybe for the people that are not exactly aware of your background. How did this progression happen for you where it seemed like it was very, very fast? And I remember watching you in just like in youth national team games and being like a leader there to kind of being one of the leaders for the first team in NYCFC. So how do you feel about that progression, and why do you think it happened so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, when I look back on it, it seems like something that kind of happened overnight. 1 minute I was in the academy, and then the next I was playing for the first team. But then I look back and look at all the little things that happened, and it did take longer than we all would have liked. Probably, I would have loved to be starting every game at 17, but that's just not so realistic. So, but I think in the end, it's just the club had a great plan for me, and they've pretty much stuck to that plan, since day one. So, it's been great for me to just kind of rise up through the ranks.
I think that's part of your success from the moment they were like, look at that 17-year-old, and I'm like, I see a 30-year-old with a mortgage, like you don't crack a smile, you know what I mean? The other players are high-fiving and you're like, they're just so childish sometimes. Like you have
kids these days.
Yeah, I don't know, really? I mean, you got to let them have fun when they're this age. But you have this demeanor about you. Like even now you're talking about like, I would have wanted it. You're like, I'm 12, coach, put me in. Why are you wasting all this time? Is that part of your drive, like that drive, and just that I should be there right now, I'm good enough to be there, and obviously playing up to that level when you do get in, is that part of why you think you've been so successful at such a young age?
Yeah, I think I kind of have a quiet confidence about me. I'm never going to say that I'm the best player, but I probably think that. So yeah, I think it's just part of my game, part of my style. My old youth national team coach used to call me an old soul, so I think that kind of fits the bill.
Yeah, man, there's something about you where I'm like, I could see this guy just whittling a stick on a porch. He's got such a calm energy about him. I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah, James S. does, what light reading is an encyclopedia.
What do you think I was doing over quarantine?
Yeah, he's just got like all these figurines of wood behind him. But when we asked this for Keaton Parks, right? Like, when we ask people what kind of player Keaton Parks is, you might hear, if you ask 100 people, you might hear like 30 different answers, right? Because he's sort of all over the place. For you, it would have been one thing. You're an incredible center back, and this year you've gotten the opportunity to play more defensive midfielder. Where do you think you lie best? Are you one of the three in a 3-man back line? Do you think you're the one of the two in center backs in a 4-man back line? Are you N'Golo Kante? You know what I mean? Who are you, Jimbo?
I'm still figuring it out, but
Jimbolo Kante.
What? I wish I had that button right now, bro.
I hope that nickname sticks.
We got to text Matarita. Yeah.
Oh,
You know what to
don't.
call him. You know what to call him. Jembolo Kante.
Yeah, but I like playing all three positions pretty much, and I don't like to really pick one because then who knows who's listening or who's watching, and then maybe they hear that I like one and don't want to play me at the other. And at this point in my career, it's all about staying on the field. So playing more position gives me a better chance of that.
Yeah.
Well, especially with this coach, you might get a chance to play the wing. You never know, dude.
You never know.
We might see you up top.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the the restart after the MLS is back tournament. But I want to talk a little bit about that tournament in itself and playing those games and being in the bubble. We've spoken to some other players, even players on other teams that like the younger players had a different experience than the older players, right? The players that have like families and things like that, and who left their families. Some of the younger guys were just like, oh, okay, which was a summer break. We're just having
Nintendo Switch time.
What was, I know that the matches were tough. I mean, it was great to see the club progress in the knockout rounds.
And start to gel.
Yeah. What was the experience like for you?
For me, it was, it was a fun experience. I had been stuck in my house, with my family, which is a great thing, but maybe a little too much time at home. So I was all for it the whole time. It's tough to be in Orlando for a month, but I really wanted to play, and it just it'd been a long time coming. And then I know the older guys on our team had a pretty different approach to it, but I understand that you wouldn't want to leave your family for a month. So, and as you guys said, it was cool to see how the team progressed. In the end, I don't think we did as well as we would have wanted to, but we learned some good things about our team.
And I joked around a little bit about you probably being the best striker on the team, but a lot of times defenders have started, right? Their youth, they start up top, and then little by little they go maybe to midfielder, or maybe they're a midfielder and they decide to go back to defender. Were you always a defender? Is that part of, like, what drew you to that?
Well, I usually always played center mid, so I've kind of been going back and forth. But no, you really don't want to see my finishing.
No, man, I've seen you buried some penalties.
That's true. I can take a penalty.
Like put the ball down and everyone get away from me.
Yeah,
and then I'll show you my skills.
And I would say, from when you first got signed with the first team and starting getting minutes to now, when you do play in the midfield, there's a certain level of comfort and trust. As a fan, I'm watching you, be able to pass the ball and ping balls through to Maxi, to Keaton, to Ring. What is it like being a part of that midfield when you are playing as a midfielder? And how's it feel to earn that kind of trust from your teammates who are more veteran players or just older players?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. My job on the field is like kind of what you just mentioned, to control the game and to get our good players with the ball in good spots. So, and especially with someone like Maxi, you can give him the ball whenever and he'll get out of it. So that makes things a little easier. And then, it's just, it's, as I said, it's super helpful when you've got such quality players around you. It makes my job pretty easy.
Do you think there's something because you're around some pretty incredible defenders, Alex Collins and obviously Chanot. Is there something that you're learning from them, watching them day in and day out? These are guys that are playing for their national team, and obviously I know that's one of your big goals.
Yeah.
And you certainly have the skill for it. In fact, when we met Greg Berhalter, we're like, what are you waiting for? Okay, get Jimbo in there, buddy.
Yeah.
When you getting a chance to train against these folks and to train against some incredible strikers, do you think that's helping your development, and what do you see for yourself in the next 2, 3, 4 years?
Yeah. Well, I think when we look at the center backs on our team, Maxime, Alex Kynes, and Seb too, they're probably 3 of the most different center backs. So just in terms of what they bring. So I think being able to learn like what each one of them is good at is so helpful for me as a young player. And then, the second part of that, my goals for the future are, like anyone, to play for the national team. But I kind of have this mentality that I'm going to focus on the club situation because I missed out on the U20s when I didn't think I should have. So I kind of learned that I can't control that side of things. So I'm just going to do my thing for New York and see where it takes me.
You need us to make some calls or something? I mean, what's happening here?
Please, if you guys feel like it's necessary.
We know a couple people. I don't know if any of them can help you in soccer, but we can maybe get you a couple free sandwiches.
Hey, that'll do.
There you go.
As far as the last couple weeks, I mean, it's been they were a good unbeaten streak, and it unfortunately ended with that. Whatever, in my opinion, ridiculous call against Toronto. But it's unfortunate. Obviously, the injury to Hebert, the injury to Maxi. How do you think this kind of sort of affects or shapes the team going forward? I know, from watching, I feel like defensively, I feel like we're strong there. And then obviously when you have a new coach, it's figuring out the chemistry and just scoring a bunch of goals. And it helped to score a bunch against Cincinnati. But how's the team feeling now, especially with those key injuries?
Yeah, it's always tough to lose those guys, but I think we're in a much better place now than we were 2 months ago. And I think, a lot of people try and compare this year's team to last year's team. And, what people don't think about is, we've not had Maxi for, weeks at a time. We now don't have Eber. And, after our poor start, we're picking up points at, about the same pace, even without those guys. So I think that speaks a lot to, how strong the team is as a group this year.
If you look at the schedule coming up, dude, I mean, I think you got a game right now, right? Like, hurry! What are you doing?
Now, tomorrow, the next day.
Yeah, dude. It's like, at the rate I eat Doritos is the rate you guys are playing games. I try to take a day in between. What do you think how does that change how you prepare for a match? And how does that change just what you do physically afterwards? Like, do you have to get a lot more rest, or are you spending more time at the physio, sort of getting massage? Like, what does that change for your day to day?
Yeah, well, my teammates still think I'm 14, so I'm not allowed to see the physio.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
But yeah,
you get a lollipop when you leave the physio.
Exactly. But pretty much, with games, it's kind of nice to have games so often, just because if you do have a bad game, or even if you lose one, you've got that next game coming up. So that's kind of nice. But it's really all about rest and recovery now. We're not even doing so much training during the week, just because people need to be fresh for our games.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about those ice baths? You guys do that?
Some of us do.
Yeah.
You're not allowed.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's a kiddie pool, and they're like, "Get out of here!" Enough with it.
Oh my God! Well, James, man, look, we're huge fans, and continued success not for NYCFC. Hopefully for the men's national team. I hope to see you in World Cups, man. Genuinely, dude. You're I think you're an inspiration to a lot of people, and the fact that you are becoming very much a leader for this club does not go unnoticed. So.
And it's very well deserved, dude. You add stability to the midfield and defensively, and to the back line, and it's just one of the things that's beautiful to see. You're a kid from around here, and you're doing wonderful things. So
exactly,
But
you know what? I think we should be added to the coaching staff for just a motivational team.
Honestly.
Right?
And if you guys would just give Greg Berhalter a quick call, then
yeah, well, I'm not kidding. We put pressure on him when we met him. We're like, "What are you doing, Berhalter?"
That's perfect.
Okay?
Greggy boy.
We just grabbed his forearm as we said that, you know? Just
Let
to
me talk to you real quick.
James Sand, thank you so much for joining us on NYCFC at Home, brother.
Thanks,
All right.
James.
Thank you, guys.
All right, baby, let's do a little match preview presented by EA Sports. He's like, yo, who's next? Man, what a great interview by James Sands, huh?
Great kid. Yeah, I'm so glad we got to talk to him. And yeah, we realized he's not as super serious as he may seem, but
he loosened up a little bit. You know, that's what we do. Congratulations,
here,
Christian.
okay? That's why you tune into NYCFC at Home with the Cooligans presented by Jimador. Okay?
We got the whole thing in there. And James Sands, by the way, I hope he brings that energy and that excitement to Miami when they land. And by the way, I mean, a bunch of New Yorkers going to Miami. I say we intimidate them a little bit. We show up with the Timbs on, the basketball shorts. We got the G Unit, beaters on. You know what I mean? Right? Just
the bulletproof vest. Alexis?
No. Remember the white beater that had the thing this way? That had the.
Oh yeah.
Talking about the G Unit joints.
Yeah, I remember those. Okay.
Yeah, so we should show up in those. Like, just got like a boba tea and a bacon, egg, and cheese. Just being like, where the good slices around here? Yo, Higuain. You find a good slice right here? I know you looking, bro.
Well, yeah. So NYCFC will be going up against Miami. This is we're playing them again. Obviously, we played them in the bubble. We won 1-0
A little different team though. They didn't have Gonzalo Higuain, man.
Correct. Look, I mean, we saw Higuain against the Philadelphia Union. He's
getting mushed.
he's still figuring things out. All right? Okay. So I'm look. If we do give up a penalty, I'm just saying I hope Higuain takes it. That's all I'm saying.
No, please, you go ahead, please. It might even just be a good defensive thing to just trip him up every time he's getting near goal and be like, "No, take as many penalties as you want, buddy."
But
I feel bad for the birds around here, but other than that.
But the match will be on Saturday at 8 p.m. on Yes Network, so make sure to tune in and show some support. Any predictions for this one? I think these teams tend to be a little bit even in styles of play to some degree. I mean, they it was a good first matchup. So, but NYCFC is in a different place.
Very much so.
Chemistry,
and
concerned.
That's why I'm gonna say, and I mean, we say they're gonna win every week, but I do think they're gonna win.
Imagine we came on here and we're like, oh no, man,
yo, this ain't gonna be good.
Like,
oh no,
oh, this is our final episode.
Yeah. Why? And we're like, why did that get cut out of the show? I'm surprised they didn't air that. No, I think. And really, I'm going to give more of the leverage to NYCFC simply because they're much more of a cohesive unit. I think my fear is always that a new player, like the team, especially a player of a name like his, the team tries to like build up a little bit and they try to play up a little higher than their level to just try to impress him. And it's like, oh, he's here now, and I don't think I saw that last week. So I think it's going to be NYCFC, and I think it's going to be 3-2.
Okay, that many goals. I don't expect. Again, I say this every week, but defensively, I think we're in a great place. I'm expecting 2-1. I think. I think that 2-1 feels right. NYCFC defensively, I'm more confident than I've sort of ever been in that back line. They're playing well, especially with.
They are playing incredibly well.
As we, with our guest today,
Jimbo back there.
Jimbolo Conte just reaffirmed my confidence in this team. So we're currently 6th in the Eastern Conference. Not impossible to get a better position for the playoffs. There's nine matches left. Anything
goal differential looking a little better after we played Cincinnati.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That rebound team, we love it. So the playoff position is going to be important. Making the playoffs is going to be very, very important. But I feel like we're all in a good place. So. All right. We did it again, Alexis. Another episode in the books.
Double digits, though. 10th episode.
10th episode.
Hey, shouts to us.
Shouts to us for NYCFC bringing us on board. Everybody, thank you again for tuning in to another NYCFC at Home. We are the Cooligans. Enjoy the game.